Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar where we will be talking about the brand new partnership programme from Netacea. Leading today's panel discussion is Joe Cavadias from Netacea and Tom Challoner from Tribe. Over to you, Joe.
Thanks, Danny. So today we're going to speak through our partnership programme, our new partnership programme that we've launched this year. And we're very lucky to be joined by one of our newest partners, Tribe, and Tom Challoner from Tribe. I'll just introduce myself briefly. As Danny said, my name is Joe Cavadias. I head up Strategic Alliances and Technology Partnerships for Netacea. And I'll introduce Tom at this point. Tom Challoner from Tribe. Tom, do you want to give a little bit of information about yourselves and Tribe?
Yeah, thanks, Joe. And I think first and foremost, thank you for having me along today. I'm Tom Challoner from Tribe. I'm the partnership manager, and at Tribe we help all users have a fast and error-free website experience. We do managed load testing and managed performance monitoring, ensuring that, as we said, it's always about a fast and error-free website experience.
Great, thanks, Tom. So today, as I say, we're going to walk through a little bit of information about, firstly, why we started this partner program and where we're coming from as a business in terms of our bot management technology. And then we're going to go into a little bit of detail about the partnership that we have with Tribe and just have a bit of an open discussion about why we formed that partnership, how we're developing that partnership moving forward, and in turn, hopefully answer some questions that some of the newer partners out there might have ahead of us forming those partnerships moving forward. So I guess it's good to start with, we've gone through the introductions, just start with a little bit of background on where we're coming from as a business. So as a business, we are very different in terms of our approach to bot management. And I guess there's two key differentiators that jump out straight away to most partners that we talk to. The first thing is our deployment method. We choose a server-side deployment as opposed to client-side deployment. So we don't deploy JavaScript or other code, SDKs for mobile apps. We choose to analyze server-side behavior. And the second thing is our unique machine learning approach. So all of our machine learning models and techniques have been developed in-house, and we apply them every single day to the clients that we work with currently, and some of the prospective clients that we have in proof of concepts. And where we're coming from really is we have a strong understanding that the nature of bot attacks has definitely changed in the last few years. Bots are moving away from targeting traditional security vulnerabilities, and they're looking to exploit business logic. And really it's having that understanding that has allowed us to build on how our technology performs today and how it looks to function in the future. And I think when you look at statistics like this one, they're quite shocking at first. And a lot of the partners that we speak to, and in turn their clients, are quite shocked that typically 50% of total online traffic consists of bots, and it's only going to grow, right? So it's about giving the partners and their clients full visibility over what that bot picture looks like and how to obviously detect and mitigate against those malicious bots. Not all bots are bad, of course. We understand that there's good bots within that figure as well, but it's important to have a view of how to segregate between good and bad bots and how to obviously, as I say, mitigate against those more malicious threats that are out there. To give some context, when we speak to a lot of partners, first off, they're quite shocked about the amount of companies worldwide that don't have bot management in place right now. And this is just a sample in terms of the UK top 350 companies, the US top 10,000 companies. And we can see a huge proportion of those don't have any bot management right now. So in the UK, we know that 94% of these companies don't have any bot management. And in the US, 96% of the top 10,000 don't have any bot management. So what does that mean really? It means that bot management is definitely a growing space. It's something that a large number of businesses are looking at, but there's also a very large number of businesses not looking at it. So one of the big reasons for forming the partner program was to allow us to engage with the right type of partners to engage with clients that don't have bot management, or they have bot protection in place, but it might not be adequate in terms of what it's offering them today. And when I was brought in to start this partner program at Netacea, my focus is very much on developing partnerships where we have good synergy. And I think if we keep in mind a lot of the things that we've just spoken about, you know, the way that the bot threat is changing, the way that bots are being able to circumvent traditional rules-based defenses such as web application firewalls and CDNs, which are still very important, obviously, within the security infrastructure, but they lack the sophistication to be able to combat the modern bot threat and the way that the bot threat's evolving. So when we were looking for partners, as I say, we're looking for that synergy on a technology level. You know, we're looking for cybersecurity focused partners. We work with a lot of managed security services providers. We work with then IT services providers that provide technology that is complementary. And we have a shared vision for what we want to deliver to clients. And that's definitely something we found with a lot of the partners we're working with so far this year. And Tribe are definitely in that category in terms of a partner that fits on that synergy level. So obviously I spoke a little bit about traditional defenses not being able to keep up. This is not just feedback that we've had from existing direct clients, but more so the conversations that I'm having with partners across 2020. They've all given me the feedback that even their clients that have bot protection in place in some form or the other, it's not providing what they need in terms of adequate coverage, adequate mitigation, and more importantly, the visibility over what's actually happening from a bot management perspective. So launching this partner program, as I say, it's about engaging with the right type of partners. And for me, those partners sharing a natural synergy within the area of cybersecurity and everything focused here within that space is very important. And so particularly when we look at a partner like Tribe, Tribes obviously have a heavy focus on the performance aspect. And that's one of the key things that's very important whenever we engage with clients. It's all about the performance of their user journeys, how frictionless is their user journey, how much can they build on the high performance that they already have. And a big factor for us when we put our bot protection in place is making sure that we don't impede on web performance or impede on the user journey. And, you know, myself and Tom can talk a little bit more as we move through about how that works on a day-to-day basis. But I guess one of the big things for us with the partner program is making sure that our partners feel confident that they can go and speak to their clients about Netacea. And for me, there's 4 key areas that really bolster the proposition. And the first thing is that, you know, we are a world-leading bot management solution. We've been independently recognized by the likes of Forrester for our innovation within this space. We have easy integration to any IT environment. So we can pretty much integrate with any IT environment that we come across, and we can be very flexible about how we do that. So that gives partners peace of mind that when they go and speak to a client, we're always going to find a way to make the project work. The third thing for me, and one of the biggest pieces of feedback that I've had from partners this year, is that we're able to protect 3 key attack surfaces in a single solution. So being able to not only protect the websites, which is quite commonplace in bot management, but protecting mobile apps and APIs, 2 of the most attack surfaces in 2020, and it's increasing year on year. And I think the final thing that we want to really convey to our partners is giving that proactive support during every single project. And that involves resource from, you know, a sales perspective during the process of the project itself, from a marketing perspective as well, making sure that we're helping our partners engage with their clients and giving their clients the right sort of content to digest. Easily digestible content is one of the things that we've been lauded for by the partners that we work with so far, which is great. And then obviously the technical team that we have here and the expertise that we provide from a bot management perspective. So these are the sort of 4 key areas, and it's great to have Tom on today because, myself and Tom, we first started speaking in March, I think it was, March 2020. And we naturally hit it off, which is good from a rapport side of things. And I think we hit it off because, we both understood what we wanted from a partnership. And I think the big thing that we said, even in our first few conversations, was about supporting each other during any project that we were going to do moving forward. And I don't know how you feel, Tom, but I think when we were touching on those first couple of opportunities and some of the projects where we've worked on so far and we're working on in the future, it was having that shared vision that we wanted to make sure that what we were doing with the project was going to have the best impact possible for the client.
I think ultimately it has to be everything that we both do is with the client benefit in mind. And if we look at this ecosystem we both work in, it's super complex. From our perspective, we're looking at everything from a performance metric. We can see that if there's malicious activity on a client's website, whether or not it's performing well, whether it's not, we've seen the sites crash under bot attacks, for example, without naming names. And it's, that initial outreach that we both made was on that basis that we could, we're both experts in what we do, the companies that we work for. We want to build relationships so we can ultimately help the end client, and we want to be able to do that from a position of trust. I think one of the big things that I found initially when we had a conversation is everything was open, everything was clear, everything made sense, and there was no spiel, as it were, to sort of try and hide anything that may not be the case. And we've all seen this in partnerships. The partnerships are around, you want to be a number, you want to have X hundred partnerships in your network, but I really felt that wasn't the case when we first started discussing things in more detail, when we started discussing the value proposition, for example, and really understanding I only want to be able to make a trusted introduction to my clients on the basis that they get the value from that engagement. Absolutely.
And I think one of the biggest things that you and I covered off quite early, Tom, was understanding each other's value proposition, as you say, sort of inside out to a good level. We both performed sessions where we showed each other's services and technology inside out. And so it makes it much easier when we do get involved in a project to be able to speak with confidence at the first level, even if it is a high level discussion with that particular prospective client, to be able to say, this is something that we, as you say, trust in. This is something that we feel comfortable, bringing to our clients. And it's something that's going to deliver real value on the back end. And also picking up on something you just said there, Tom, for me, when I was setting up this partner program and when I continue to develop it in 2021, it's going to be very important to make sure that we work with the right type of partners. It's not about the number of partners, as you say. It's not about just having partners that will deliver, small incremental bits of revenue just for the sake of, putting numbers on a board. It's about working with partners that are going to deliver good projects for the clients. That in turn makes the clients feel like they can trust both partners, and they'll continue to do work with both of us long term. And I think it's developing that long-term success within the partnership and having a truly strategic partnership that is a focus for both of us.
I think you're right. And, we want our partners to share our values, of a can-do attitude, of togetherness, of curiosity, of being experts in what we do. And it's important, that we know that you share the same sort of vision that we have, that we're continuously working together to offer a fast and error-free experience, because no matter what piece of technology is sat in the middle, because ultimately that's kind of what we're both doing here in some ways, that the end it's all aimed at the end user, so the end user can go onto a retail site and be safe in the knowledge to know that it's going to be a fast and error-free experience. And I'm quite active on LinkedIn. People can come and find me afterwards if they want to, and you keep hearing me say, together for better digital journeys, because ultimately that's what the partnership's about. It's about offering the clients, the end user on the website, the best digital experience that they can have. And you also, interestingly touched on that education piece.
Yeah.
I'm an expert in web performance. Okay, I'm not an expert in mitigating bots on clients' websites, but actually, by going through the education piece, not just with me, because it's no good at me having all the information in my head, because I don't speak to all of our clients all of the time. That's where the service team comes in, and it's that sort of shared knowledge across our company about what you do, and about having people say, well, okay, I can see this problem on this website at the moment. We can see the website's gone down. The client's saying it's, they're suffering from malicious bots. Well, actually, I know a company that can help you, and I can make that trusted introduction to that company, to stop that from happening. And it's not conceptual. It's not a conceptual relationship. Without naming names, I've seen this happen. I've seen last year a client's website go down under a one-off release of some merchandise, and that's all front-end bots. And by making this trusted introduction, it didn't happen this year. That's that trusted relationship, and it's a win-win-win. Ultimately, I want the clients to win. I want our clients to have that value.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, you touched on that project there that we have worked on successfully. That was a great project, and one that continues to go from strength to strength, which is brilliant. And there's many more coming, which is great, moving through 2021. I guess I wanted to ask you how you feel about the model that we have here, because obviously there's different types of partnership models, right? I think you and I have been involved in partnerships and sales for a fairly long time, career-wise, each other, sort of 10 plus years. And in my experience, there's a lot of partnership networks, as they're called out there, that are sort of reseller networks, or that type of approach where they'll partner with as many people as possible just to try and get people to sort of resell their solutions into their clients. And for me, what I've always found, some of those programs are exceptional and they're very good, but more often than not, I find those programs have been a real sort of throw and see how much sticks approach, And
a numbers game, right?
Yeah, a numbers game, quite right. And that was something I wanted to avoid with this, making sure that we partner with the right types of partners, both here in the UK, across Europe. We now have partners active in North America and in Asia as well. So, and for me, each partner, there's a common thread, as I mentioned. We all share something in terms of, whether it's the performance aspect, like yourselves focusing on, quality digital journeys and improving the performance aspect, which is a big part of what we do, whether it's the cybersecurity aspect, which is obviously a huge part of what we do as well. Working with a lot of managed security services providers, providing, SOC operations. So how do you feel about the way that we've gone about this partnership, and how do you think it works for you guys moving forward?
Yeah, the way that we try to, and just like you said that you've been in the partnership role, Netacea, since the beginning of the year. It's very similar to me. I've worked for Tribe for 6 years. I've done business development, I've done account management, and now I look to partners. And it's a strategic approach that we've decided to take to engage with other companies that are specialists in what they do. We know that I don't want to be the jack of all trades, master of none. We want to say, well, okay, you have a specific problem. We know somebody, we trust somebody, we have a relationship with somebody that knows that inside out and back to front, and they are the best at what they do. And it makes that initial conversation easier when you can talk about projects that you've done together, when you can talk about, we've seen this before, we have solved this problem, I know it works. And, I think ultimately it's that I know it works, it's that trust that that has that. And it's difficult sometimes to find that level of synergy. We're non-competitive. We actually complement what we do. I think I touched on it with this other project. When your piece of kit, I keep calling it a piece of kit, I'm sure it's you might refer to it as more than that, but when the implementation actually went in, the client said to us, well, we want you to make sure as part of your performance testing that the bot protection isn't affecting the end user. It's not, it's server side, it's sat in the middle, but we don't want the end users to feel that the website slowed down or there's a problem. And the proof was in the pudding in that case. We performance tested it, and there was no degradation in end user experience whatsoever. So they won because their website is not falling over due to bot attacks. They won because they've done that without impacting the end user experience. So it's a great story to be able to replicate to other people who are interested in doing that.
Yeah, and I think touching on what you're saying there, Tom, about the way that we positively impact the user's journey and the performance aspect that's one of, I think, the biggest accolades for what we do as a business and our technology, and it's feedback that I've had not just from yourself, from other partners. So it's great to see that pattern emerging where we're having a positive impact in terms of making sure that we're allowing them to see what's happening in terms of the bot activity. We're giving them the options to mitigate in the right way. We're not just blanket serving capture challenges. Some of the feedback we've had from partners and their clients has been that they've had bot protection in place, and that bot protection has been a very much a one size fits all approach, and I think we all know when it comes to technology, one size doesn't fit all. And that's exactly why our technology, I think, has worked so well, both on the projects that we've worked on and, the other partners that we've been involved with this year, because I think the biggest thing for us, our machine learning technology is built to adapt to each individual client environment. So it adapts to the unique business logic of every single, site that we work with. We map out the user paths, the user journey, and the machine learning tunes to the environment in order to provide the best protection possible. So I think it's about having an approach that is intelligent. And I think any time that you take that sort of as your starting point, having an intelligent approach, it allows you to really deliver the good work that we've delivered so far. So no, I'm very pleased with everything that we've done, with this partnership so far and with what we're going to do in the future.
Sure. Yeah. Sorry, Danny.
Sorry, Tom. Sorry, I was just going to say, you both kind of dipped into a little bit about the client that you've both worked for so far, but do you think you could kind of paint a picture of why you reached out to NetAsea for that particular project, what the benefits were, what the challenges were they faced and what had to overcome?
Okay.
Without naming names.
Without naming names. Oh, it's always tricky, isn't it? So we, because we have a really close working relationship with our clients' teams, both from an IT and e-commerce perspective, we quite often, when we do a performance test, have some level of engagement with that really complex ecosystem, be it systems integrator, security testing company, bot protect, whatever it may be. We sort of have a visibility of who these people are. So we'd actually previously known of you at two of our clients, but hadn't actually reached out and said hello and asked you a bit more about what you do. So actually, when this client that we keep talking about had a problem, I went away to actually find out, well, okay, if you guys do what you do at these clients, then let's find out some more information, because obviously the likes of who these two big retail clients were would mean that that they have to be using you for a really good reason, and rightfully so they are. And that's why it's easier to have that conversation, and there's a level of trust there already because we know that our clients are using you already. So we feel that's an easy way to sort of open up that conversation. And the client story was that we see a lot of retail. Retail's our strong point. It's not saying that retail's all we do, but particularly at the moment, we've just seen the first ever 100% online Black Friday. Online retail is, where where things are at and going towards, and digital transformation has really pushed forwards. But the clients had a big on sale, a big launch, and we see this for trainers. I almost call them sneakers. I'm not American, but we see this for really high demand goods. We've seen it for the PS5, right? We've seen it really recently, but the demand was such from sort of scalper bots, I think it was, that actually it crashed their website. Although there's such a limited supply, the website didn't just sell out quickly; it fell over. Which really is not where they want to be, and they certainly don't want their merchandise in the hands of people who ultimately are going to resell and make more money. So it happens. This big on sale happens every year, and before this was going to happen the next year around, I said, well, can we make an introduction to you from somebody that we know we're speaking to see if we can stop this from happening. I think I might have had to mention it twice to them or so, which is not a lot when you think about it. If you can mention one of your partners on the second time and it goes through to them actually working with them, then that's that trusted relationship based on that introduction.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely, and like you say, I think the bot challenge is more on the radar than it has been in previous years, and a lot of that is obviously fed by changes in consumer behaviour. But it's great that you're out there helping build relationships and bridge the gap between what the end user needs to experience and what needs to happen on the back end to make sure that everything works as one and makes it a seamless experience overall.
Totally right. It has to be seamless, and we keep seeing now more and more stories and news. You guys were in the news this week on the, was it this week or last week on the BBC or something to do with the PS5, or it's newsworthy stuff we're talking about here, and
huge.
It's exactly that. And again, without naming names, one of our very, very, very large clients went down because of the PS5 launch, and we know, and they know, that a lot of that traffic was bot driven. And it's making sure that ultimately it's all the website users that are that suffer at that point in time, not the people who are just trying to buy the console, but everybody who's trying to buy that. And it isn't just that client; it's the big people that you see out there. The Argoses, the John Lewises, and people like that.
Absolutely, I think that was one of the big lessons from this. From this retail period, the peak holiday season, that, as you said before, Tom, it's been entirely online this year, first time ever. It wasn't just the people trying to buy a console, it was anybody who wanted anything from those big, all expansive websites that have food, they have kids' toys, they have all manner of items available that nobody could access at once purely because of a console launch. So it's definitely highlighting the challenge that retailers and brands are facing. I think it's starting to, from the conversations I've been having recently, from the PR perspective, it's been very much about highlighting that link that needs to be there between the brands and the retailers, and saying it's not just the retailers, not just the retailer's responsibility. Brands have got to have that awareness from the get-go and start to bring that relationship together too.
I think you're right, and ultimately, not just poor web performance, but the website not being operational is quite damaging to people's brand reputation, particularly when it's a large retailer who, their users wouldn't expect that to happen because of a single product going on sale. Yes, we get into that conversation about brand loyalty, and are we saying with consoles there's any brand loyalty? Probably not. They just wanted to buy a PS5 or an Xbox. But to the everyday user of that site who can't get on it to buy what they want to buy, the loyalty is different there. So yeah, very damaging to brands. Should bots or anything else affect their web performance?
And that's one of the biggest pieces of feedback we've had from not just yourself, Tom, but other partners as well, talking about the big impact that bots are now having from a financial perspective, but also a reputational perspective as well, you know. And it's something that it's really highlighted, as yourself and Danny have just spoken around periods like Black Friday, and especially during the holiday period. You know, these are the periods where people really see the things like bot attacks in full swing. But you know, there's also been a lot of data breaches this year, some more public than others, and then a lot that are not publicised as well, as we well know from speaking to certain clients and prospective clients this year. So it's all about us ensuring that we stay ahead of the curve. One of the things that we've been praised for by the likes of Forrester and Gartner is our innovation, you know, especially around, as I mentioned earlier, the machine learning side of things that we apply every day. And that's something that we strive for, you know, that innovation. And I think to have partners have that as part of the sort of peace of mind when they go into conversations, you know, they have that to be able to speak about in their first discussions about us. I think it's very important, you know. And so yeah, definitely something we want to continue building on. Well, yeah, I mean, listen, thanks so much, Tom, for taking the time today. It's been great to catch up.
Yeah, sure.
And obviously I look forward to doing more and more great work together in 2021. And if there's any other partners out there who would like to reach out and find out more about the partner program, speak to myself and my team, please feel free to email hello@netasia.com, or feel free to engage with me via LinkedIn, Joe Cavadias. And yeah, we look forward to speaking to you in the future.